I admit it, guilty as charged. I do talk a lot about the benefits of retiring as soon as you can, but like any important decisions, there's pros and cons. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about the cons of retiring early and 5 things that disappear almost immediately when you retire. But be sure to stay to the end because I'm going to give you a bonus item, and then I'm also going to talk about how you can actually solve and mitigate the things that disappear, some of the negatives of retiring younger. All right, let's jump in. The first thing that's going to disappear, and often people don't think about this, is your access to debt. Not entirely, you're still going to have access to credit card debt, but it's going to be a lot harder to qualify for a mortgage. Now, you might think, let's say you've got several $100,000 in the bank, and let's say you wanted to buy a house and you were putting 50% down. Boy, if you had a steady job with a good income, that would be a slam dunk for most banks, right? Putting 50% down. But if you're not working, if you don't have steady income, if you don't have that paycheck stub that you can verify your income on, banks are very hesitant to give out loans to people that don't have steady income coming in. The loan underwriting decision is weighed heavily towards the cash flows that are coming in order to pay off a loan. So just be aware that that's there. And if you're thinking you want to refinance or you're thinking you might want to buy a second home, remember one of my rules is the secret to building wealth, right, is to always spend less than you earn, one house and one spouse. So do me a favor, think twice before you buy that second house. But if you're thinking you might want to do that, you probably want to do that a few years before you retire if you want to have a mortgage on it, because it's going to be a lot harder to get that once you retire. Okay, item number 2, and that is you're going to lose some of your friends, probably, unfortunately, most of your friends at the office, right? Right now, you've got, it's funny, proximity builds friendships and a common goal builds friendships. So you might have some people that you're very close to now, and you think, you know what, we're going to stay good friends. And I hope that happens. But, a lot of the time, once you're not going into the office every day, once you're not interacting on a daily basis, once you're not speaking the jargon of the projects and the priorities that are going on for that company, you kind of lose those points of parity, those points of commonality that you have with your friends. And you'll be surprised at how quickly those friendships might fade. A lot of retirees say, you know what, I lost half of my office friends almost immediately, maybe more. And within a year or 2 years, unfortunately, most people experience they don't stay in touch with their office friends the way that they thought that they would. And knowing about it ahead of time is the first step to trying to minimize the impact of that. Okay, number 3, and this is a big one. And you know this intellectually, but in your heart, it's just good to remind you of this. And that is, you're going to lose that good feeling that comes every quarter when, for the most part, as long as the market's not in a correction, your retirement account balances are going up, right? Because you've been putting money in and your money's working hard for you. And I just want to caution you, don't let that slow down your spending. That's what your retirement accounts there are for, exactly this reason. You have retired. This is what you sacrificed for before. This is why you put that money aside, right? Those are experiences. Those are adventures. Those are opportunities that you could have funded earlier in your life that you chose not to. You chose to sacrifice. You put that money aside. You made good investment decisions. The account grew. But you know what? That account always had a purpose. Just like if you have kids, you probably had an account to pay for their college. And I don't know about you, but it felt good actually when the kids went to college. And it's like, you know what? This is what my wife and I had planned for many, many years. And now they have their opportunity. And the account, The money is here. The account had done what it was designed to do. And I want to encourage you to do the same thing. That account is there for your retirement, and I want you to enjoy it. And part of the secret to enjoying it is just being prepared for the account balance is going to go down. And again, you know it here, but I want you to get a feel for it in your heart so you don't scrimp and save in the first couple years of retirement, which a lot of people do. And those are likely going to be your healthiest and most active years. Okay, number 4. I've talked about this before. Your identity, right? So many of us have worked in our jobs for many, many years, or our industries for many, many years. We have specialized expertise. It feels good, right? People come to us with hard questions, and for us, they're easy to answer because we've been doing this for so long. And for many of us, frankly, for most of us, that special expertise has a lot of value in our industry, has a lot of value with our current company. But outside of working, you know, it doesn't have a lot of value. And that can be hard, right? Because that's been a source of rightfully so, pride. Frankly, it's also been a source of a little bit of power and influence in your job. And, you know, a little bit of power and influence feels really good. And unfortunately, you're likely going to lose most of that. I've shared this book before, and I'm going to share it again. It's called Strength to Strength by Arthur Brooks. And it talks about exactly this and how do you transition from where you're at now and what you're good at now to what the next chapter is going to be, and whether that's something, you know, kind of work related or hobby related or mentoring or teaching, whatever it is, the sooner you start thinking about and making that transition, I think the better off that you're going to be. Okay, number 5, you're going to lose, and stick with me because the bonus is coming up as well as the solution. Number 5, you're going to lose your routine. And you know what? All animals are different, right? Like some animals don't like routine, but as human beings, we're animals as well, right? And we're social creatures, and we're also creatures that benefit from at least some routine. Some people like more routine in their lives, some people like less, but we do benefit from having some routine in our life. And you're going to lose some of that routine, and that can put you off your game. So just think about what's the new routine that you want to develop over time. It doesn't have to be day one, right? Go out there, have fun, maybe do some traveling, mix things up, but know that you're likely going to miss that routine. So you want to be thinking about that ahead of time. Okay, and then the special bonus, the part that I think really makes a lot of difference is really related to this identity aspect of things, and really digging in deep and planning ahead of time so that you're not surprised by it. So that I love the title of the book, Strength to Strength, so that it does your strength, and I say strength not in, you know, the physical sense or the strength if you're an executive at work, but just the strength, the mental strength that comes from feeling wanted and needed. And I really want to encourage you to do that exercise. I think 2 years ahead of time is not too early. 5 years ahead of time is not too early. I think it's a book that people in their 30s and 40s can benefit from. So I encourage you to read that book. And then I also encourage you to watch this video here, which talks about the secrets to a happy retirement. It builds off of, at the open, I said I'm going to share with you how to overcome some of these obstacles. And that's what this video here does, the secrets to a happy retirement. Enjoy.